interest rates and all. Very useful. Very good. Good. I've got sellers or buyers that I'm working with, and that's just that stuff that they like. They hang on. Yeah. Very helpful. Better than me telling them.
So guys, the Zoom link was sent out a little later, so we should get everyone signed on once it gets started. Yeah. And I just figured that.
I don't think there's like maybe just
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. I just sent that over to one of my
oh, I just after it. That's not like
written down. It's a great plan.
yeah. Not that I know of, there was something like a few months ago, and they said that I can
That's the point.
so yeah. Oh, it's going on. Oh, that's good. Oh, he would be out. He would be going.
Great. What happened? Like a Phillies game, that's the Phillies game.
That's right.
Right? They wanted to catch it. Yeah. It was a good pitching out. That's when and then they were losing 2-1. He was going to get the ball. All strikeout, which isn't fair. Yeah. And they tied it to 9, and they wanted to 10. Oh. On an error. Wow. Baseball guys were watching. Yeah. Nice. Anything else? Any other wins over the weekend? Anyone go to open houses? Anyone show some buyers around?
I agree with Dave by that house. I showed them that.
We did them all serious for a week.
Yeah, I understand. I think it was in the morning. I couldn't do that. Yeah. But sure, no,
that was over the weekend. You were doing that, yeah. How'd that go?
Second one, couldn't get into the super box.
Okay. I hear you.
The listening to that there was another box there. But someone underage was talking to her. She just didn't replace it and let it go. So, yeah. Yes.
Quick to slide 3.
right, grow your profit share chart. There. All right, cool. So here's the objective of today's class. We're going to talk about what is profit share, how does it work. We're going to develop a purposeful plan around it, how people passive income, how the profit share tree grows. I know a lot of people don't know that. We're going to understand how that grows as well. And then we're going to build your passive income plan. And so the benefit of taking this class is that you'll be able to build passive income through a tool that's only exclusive to Keller Williams agents, that requires zero down payment and zero liability. That's pretty cool. And so passive income, you don't have to pay anything down for it, and all the risk and liabilities on yours. You guys know me, my name is Adam, team leader here at the Market Center, and profit sharing is important to me. When I came into this role in 2020, I helped grow the profit share from 2020 to 2021 by 94% in the entire Market Center. So profit sharing is very important to me. I know that's the catalyst in what drives the behavior. Drives that behavior of sharing creators. And one of the things that made me want to get into this leadership role and get more people passionate about Keller Williams and passive income to profit sharing was I was at an event in 2019, and it was called the KW Effect. And it was taught by a guy named Aaron Kaufman, who's in Atlanta, Georgia. And if you guys know where Austin, Texas is what's called the capital of Keller Williams, where it started. Atlanta, Georgia is like the Big Apple of Keller Williams. There's multiple market centers out there. It's the #1 brand that you see all over. So Keller Williams is gigantic in Atlanta. Aaron Kaufman comes from that Atlanta area, and he's very Kellerized, and he's probably sponsored about 460 some people to his event in his first one. Did that through internet recruiting, and he teaches a class called the KW Effect. And when I took that class, I was looking at my seat. I got invited from the people over at KW Well. And I was on the edge of my seat, and I understood what I'd taken that class as well in Devon. He was in Devon not too long ago. And he talks about not just how to recruit people, how to attract people to Keller Williams. He talks about this idea of who we are as an organization and how the agents build relationships with one another, and how there's this model called interdependent operations, and that ultimately builds over. That inspired me to get into this role and to help the agents here to Live Up and build something big and to help change everyone's lives. So why are you guys attending this course? If I were to ask you. Is that Ed so? Love that one.
You can't be in yourself.
Okay. What do you guys intend to take away from this course? Okay. So what I'm hearing you say is that the idea of profit sharing passive income would be important to you, and you would want to know a way to build it. Is that, I don't want to put words in there. Does that sound right? Okay, cool. Great. So let's talk about profit sharing. So what is passive income? What comes to your mind when you hear passive income? What is that? Yeah, stocks, dividends. Yeah, those are examples for sure. So yeah, income that you don't have to work for. So money coming in that you don't have to work for. And let's give some examples. You said stocks, dividends, in the form of dividends that you receive. Excellent. Yes. What other examples of passive income? Yeah. Okay. Sometimes that could be active. Sometimes it can be passive. Other times it's not. Right? You could get that annoying tenant that calls you all the time about everything. Then you have that tenant that's just so passive. You have a property manager taking care of that. That's where it becomes more passive. Interest income. You guys heard of this before, right? Passive income. Okay, great. So let's have a little fun. Let's compare profit share to something else, like some other type of tool out there that gives you passive income. So let's imagine that there is how much would you need to have in the bank at 5% interest to make $75,000? You just have to divide that out. 75,000 divided by 5%, that's $1.5 million in the bank to receive 5% every year at 75,000. So when we look at profit share, there's no investment that you have to make. In that example, 5%, you have to put 1.5, in order to get $75,000 in passive income a year, we're talking no box money, not working for it at all. You would have to put $1.5 million in the bank in order to get that. Very large investment. You say that passive income is expensive. I mean, not working for it could be very expensive. Now, profit sharing, you don't have to put any investment in. Zero investment in. So one of the things that we do here every month, you may have seen these statements go out to you. Anyone in here receiving profit sharing? Is this what tonight, these letters? Okay. So I always like to bring perspective with that when we send out profit sharing statements to the agents that do receive profit sharing. So here's an example. One of our biggest months of profit was back in May. And we had sent this out to an agent in the office that received a lot of profit sharing. And it says, John, did you know that it would take an investment of $993,000 invested at 4% to generate an annualized cash flow equal to the profit share proceeds system? Congratulations. So, I don't get the power of that. You don't have to put any investment. It's pretty much saying what you receive this month, you would have to invest that much annually. The person couldn't work for that at all. Passive income. Okay. What do you think of that opportunity? Yeah. No brainer. No one's ever going to call you for a busted toilet. So, if you ever, now the way this all works in participating in profit sharing is if you attract an agent to any Keller Williams market center in the world. The best way to think about how to do this is really understanding who we are as an organization. If you know who we are as an organization, you can effectively communicate that to someone and get them excited to want to talk to a Keller Williams team leader or anyone in leadership. You have to know the history of Keller Williams. So Keller Williams, back in the 80s, Gary Keller had this idea. He said, you know what? A lot of these brokerages, they're putting a lot of money out there in marketing, and I really think that they think their brand is the real reason why they see business. Meaning, I always believe, I'm talking in Gary Keller's mind, I always believe that when an agent sits down, they believe that the agent is the reason behind it. They can care less which brand it is. Meaning, they don't care. Meaning, Roxanne, I don't care if you're with Keller Williams, Remax, Fox, and Roach. Who are you and how can we trust you with the biggest sale of our client, the biggest sale, with the sale of the biggest financial transaction of others? It's all about how they trust you. So he said, you know, I'm going to exercise. I'm going to put that to use. And I'm going to create the first ever brokerage where we treat the agents as the customers. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to treat the agents as owners. So every single Keller Williams franchise has owners, and the owners share almost up to 50% of the profits to their agents in profit share. And when you do that, the agents have a more vested feel in the company. Because now, if they're vested in it and they receive profit sharing, now you look at the books, and that's why Gary designed this thing called the ALC, the Associate Leadership Council. Have you guys ever heard of that? The Associate Leadership Council. Jackie is a member as well. So these are they're made up of the top 20% agents in the office, and they make the key decisions for the market center. And they look at the books as well. So it's creating a company where the agents look at the books, they have a real say in the direction of the office and company. And it's also having a company where the agent, Keller Williams never spent a dime marketing for brand. You walk into our building, there's no sign out front. We really don't care about our brand. It's It's really about the agents. So since that time, when Gary made that decision, there wasn't any money put in that. So when you think about your business, how do you think your business is going to be built? Do you think it's going to be built off a word of mouth type of thing, or is it going to be built off marketing dollars? What do you think? Okay, a little bit of both. Okay. So majority of the, if you look at the masses of agents out there, the majority of them are going to say it's going to come from like sphere relationships. And that most likely may come from word. So it would make sense to align with someone who values building their business as word of mouth, as compared to another company that may value marketing dollars as they're doing. And that's been the story. That's pretty much been the story of how we've been able to attract agents here at Mount Market. Just misunderstanding and explaining, hey, you work for a company where you need partners. And the way we do that, we want to spend marketing, and the agents get to participate in the profits. That's it. That's the story. That is this wow story. So if you can internalize that and get excited around that, you can definitely excite an agent that you're maybe cooperating with, or someone who's inspired to become an agent. For opportunity. When I explain that, I didn't think so. Again, the owners share 50% of the profits with you. They don't want to spend marketing. All that money that companies will spend in marketing is put into education and everything said. How do you think that creates a win? Or do you think that creates a win? Because you bring it? Absolutely. Someone could come in and really screw up our culture. Absolutely. So, on that first page that I gave you, number 9, here's the one thing. Let's look at the benefits. You and your family, your heirs, your market center, and the people you influence join Keller Williams. Keller Williams Associates and leadership as a whole. That's pretty much how the win-win works. And then also, when you start to receive profit share, there's this idea of being 100%. Where the money that you get in profit share, it kind of offsets the total cost of what you pay to sell real estate here. And in a way, you're getting paid. If it exceeds it at some point, you're getting paid to sell real estate. Does that part make sense? And you know, we're set up to do that with everything we have in terms of the ancillaries that you can invest in, and then Keller Williams profit share. Any questions on that, guys? Ancillary title and property value. Greater Penn Abstract and Greater Penn Insurance, when you start to produce at a certain level, you can invest in their joint ventures for profit share. And when you receive money from that, you kind of look at your total cost at Keller Williams and start subtracting it out and netting it out, but it's actually a real cost to sell real estate. Our goal is to have a lot of agents grow and grow, and it gets the point where they're actually getting paid to sell real estate. Okay. What would you guys do with profit share? What comes to mind for you guys? Love to hear some ideas. Think about 5 years from now. Enjoy a nice spiked cocktail at a holiday party, and I'm like, Mike, Adam, this has been the best 5 years. I've been able to accomplish X. I've been able to trips. I've been able to pay off X. I've been able to buy more of that. What comes to mind? 5 years for you of something you're going to accomplish.
Get traveling.
Yeah, and you are going on a nice traveling trip soon. Yeah. So more, so in 5 years, what I'm hearing you say is more trips like that. Yeah, spending with the family. Love that. No. It's all about me. Okay. Anyone else?
I put everything back into the business.
Put it back into the business. In the sales business, or do you, or a little bit of both? I mean, the sales business and excellent. Okay, so real estate investing is something that you want. Great. All right. So let's talk about how the profit share system works. All right. So An associate joins a Keller Williams Market Center. This is on page 15 on your handout. An associate joins any Keller Williams Market Center means she is responsible. Again, any part of the world, any part of the world, they name you as the sponsor. Second, in a particular month, as part of their split, they pay company dollars to their market center. So that's the split. So you attract it into a Keller Williams Market Center. They do a transaction in a particular month. They pay a split. That's company dollar that the market center collects. During that month, the market center is profitable. They're saying it has to be profitable. If the market center is not profitable, it stops right here, and there's no opportunity to lose profits. Everyone following on that? Mm-hmm. On the 21st of the following of the month, some of the market center's profit is automatically deposited to your account. Yes.
So you know the exact number is profitable every month.
Of whom that we need to sell?
Of the company dollar. It's for a dollar amount.
Yeah. Good question. So it's a big Carissa and Justin question. So I don't know that we are anticipating profit this month. We don't know what that would be in the company dollar. So what he's talking about is the company dollar. That's pretty much what we refer to anyway. How much do we need to collect with that where we could see profit? Because you're thinking that our expenses might be in around the same where it hits a certain threshold of their profit. So that I don't know. I don't know that. That's a question.
And does that change every month?
It changes. Yeah, it changes because the expenses, the higher expenses that happen. With market center, they could be up with a lot of market center expenses. And then there's a month where agents are selling a lot more homes. Yeah.
Will our profit sharing in this market center be effective when Justin does?
No. Good question. That's a separate investment.
Okay.
That's a way. Mm-hmm. So there will be, so on our profit and loss statement, there is rent that we pay as a market center. Right. That rent, I don't know if that's going to go down a little bit or up a little. I'm not sure what the strategy is with that. I'm not sure. It's a great question. That could affect the profit sharing with those expenses. That's the only way I see that happening. Yeah, great question. So 21st, you get something automatically deposited to your bank. Roxanne, you're receiving some profit sharing. Do you have that on your app? Like, how do you see your profit share coming every month? Is it more on your bank statement?
Yeah, when I go in my bank statement.
Yeah. Comes up like KWPCA or stuff like that.
First it was like,
yeah, right. So it comes in automatically to your bank account. And if you have the command app, it shows up there as well. 21st of every month. Now here's the special note. You aren't getting a portion of the associate's commission. You're sharing in the owner's profits, the profits of the market center. So people think, oh, well, the more that my sponsor produces, yeah, that could be right. The more they produce, the more you get. However, it's really dependent upon how much profit is in the market center. This is when it becomes passive because we don't ever want to tether the idea of mentorship with sponsorship. Meaning, I sponsored you and I'm going to give you all the training in the world. It doesn't always happen. It's not built to be that way. It's not. It's really because it's profit. It's built upon the team leaders and the leadership staff being responsible. Because remember, passive income is not actively working. So if I were to attract Roxanne and you were to depend on me, and then that's where it would be more active. And that's not. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you joined Keller Williams prior to April 1st of 2020, it's the next slide there. If you joined Keller Williams prior to April 1st of 2020, you're vested, meaning if you're vested after 3 years and 1 day, which means that if you're receiving profit share at that time and you ever want to leave Keller Williams, you can still receive profit share. Now, if you join Keller Williams after April 1st of 2020, that was before April 1st of 2020. If you join Keller Williams after April 1st of 2020, 7 years and 1 day. for your vesting period. Meaning you can retire, you color in, and you'll still be able to receive profit sharing. And here's the best thing, you can will your profit sharing to a beneficiary. So you leave, something happens to you, you have a will in place, people will continue to receive profit sharing.
And I was asking about that too. When you will it, that just lasts forever.
Oh, it keeps going and going.
Like it can be rolled to someone that they can pick up someone else.
Yes, good question. It keeps going and going. So that's great. So imagine what that can do for your legacy. How would you want to name your mother's grandmother? Okay. 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 You guys still haven't told me? I know the last name.
I can name both of hers, Victoria Saunders.
We'll definitely remember your name if you leave something behind. Like that. I guess that was my dad. Right? So, great. So let's get into the next slide here. Develop a purposeful plan. Okay. So page 17, I think I have this printed out. So develop a purposeful plan for your income. Is that not in there? Okay. All right. There we go. So Linda McKissick, she's the top profit sharer within Keller Williams. She received $10 million in profit share over her time at Keller Williams. $10 million. All right. Linda didn't always think highly of profit share. In fact, there was a time when she thought it was a hoax. However, after a tough day, she realized she needed a plan for another stream of income. The plan led to steadily increasing stream of passive income, and so can yours. In this course, how to build passive income will create your plan to do so. So she has this quote where she says, "The day you pick up your last sign will be the last day you make your will be the day you make your last dollar." Again, the day you pick up your last sign will be the day you make your last dollar. What does that mean? What does it say? What makes you say that? Yeah. Right. Isn't that crazy? I mean, think of the people that you look up to when you got to this day. Think about the lives they impacted. People are definitely going, when they leave this world, people are going to their funeral knowing exactly real estate. There's a real estate agent. It changed our lives. It helped us with our first home. We remember the funny stories about that inspection. They did this, and they're going to impact so many lives. And to know that your last day, the day when you leave this world, is nothing in place. And we see that a lot with top producing business for a long time. So the question is, what plan do you have? Do you see how profit sharing could serve as something that would be a nice gift or a nice dividend that you can receive after your time as a real estate agent? Yes. Yeah. Go ahead.
What do you mean by sponsors at the same as having people?
Yeah, it's a good question. So we're going to, that segues right into what this slide's all about. So Roxanne, who is your sponsor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
It's under you. Yes, I see that. Deb Granite?
Deb Granite.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay. So I guess I guess you were kind of behind the scenes on how that all happened. I guess the question is, how is Debbie the sponsor? What came to you and Ed concluding that Debbie is the sponsor? Do you remember, were you part of this conversation?
A little bit. I think Ed worked with John and Debbie. Like, Ed was coming here originally when John first visited, and then didn't, because at that time Ed had been with Remax for 30+ years. It was a good setup for him, and there wasn't a title company here. They were like missing parts, and he didn't feel comfortable.
Right.
So then when he finally decided they worked with Debbie Graham. Debbie had talked with him originally.
Okay.
So I think that's what.
Yeah. So basically, she was kind of the person who got into a serious conversation.
Yeah.
What comes to your mind when you guys picked your sponsor? Brendan, do you remember picking your sponsor? Who's your sponsor? Do you know?
Yes,
Okay. What was the why did you pick him? Do you remember why?
That's like summer before I started. Basically following my summer and shadow him with the real, not also, but the real estate stuff. So I like knew what I was doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Zach, how about you? Who's your sponsor?
Stuart. So he reached out and he emailed me. And I didn't meet him in person at the time, but we had that conversation.
Yes. He said he pretty much said what he talked about.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So what are we hearing now? What do you think is the rightful sponsor? What do you think deserves sponsorship? Essentially, it's the person who gets you into the most conversation about exploring elements. That's it. Because your job is to not recruit at all. Your job is not recruit. That's my job. That's Heather's job. Your job is to get some excited based on the history of Keller Williams and why we're an organization to consider exploring. So if you ever get into a conversation with someone and they say, oh, you're trying to recruit, no, I didn't want to offend you. I'm not recruiting you. I'm not recruiting you. I only wanted to thank you and compliment you for this. And I want to invite you to this. And I want to nice to my team with you. We'll get to that later. What strategy can use the office here. So really it's the person who gets you into serious conversation. And know that as a team leader, every team leader, when they sit down with that recruit, just know that they ought to. I know I have, but maybe you guys have heard me in this conversation. It's to make sure that everyone is picking the right person. In the end, it's your discretion. It's the agent's discretion who they pick. However, the team leader has to do their best job of making sure that they're picking the right person.
My sponsor is my cousin.
Yes.
Howard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, yep.
And then I met with Bob Meiser, attracted me to his specifically, but they attracted me to Keller.
Yeah. Right. So Roxanne, you could have a friend that wants to do this. And this is my friend Sarah. She's amazing. I meet with Sarah. I'm like, oh, Roxanne, she's awesome. I love Sarah. Yeah. She said she needs to pass her exams and then she'll get going. They're like, great. Next thing you know, she's best friends with Jackie. And you didn't know that. And she comes in, you're like, what are you doing here? Oh, I knew Jackie was in the business and we're doing that. So you see where this is going? So when I sit down with Sarah, when she's ready to onboard and that question of sponsorship comes up, I have to make sure as a team leader, I'm going through who's the person that got you into serious conversations. That person would be Roxanne. Even if Jackie would say, hey, and Jackie would know as an ALC member not to coach on that. However, that doesn't mean all Keller Williams agents will be behaved like that, right? So it's up to the team to make sure that's happening. So you guys get that? I don't want to spend much time. All right. So you select the sponsor. Someone selects you. So you select the sponsor. Your sponsor has a sponsor. It goes 7 levels up. 7 levels up. You guys have the page 21. You guys have that open?
What happens once we get to the 8th level?
Yeah, oh, right. There's no way for it. You name someone. Look at that. So, let me pull up this. You see this? First level. Here's you. You have a sponsor. You're building out your first level. This is your sponsored second level. Does that make sense? Everyone following that? And then your second level is up here. Your second level, you don't have to work for because your first level is still there. Everyone see that? Imagine what the third level could look like. So the saying is, if you build it wide, time will take it. Meaning, if you build your first level just wide enough, time will take it deep. But they're going to keep attracting more people. So let's do an exercise here. I want to see. We're going to spend a minute and a half on this. I need you guys to stand up. This is a fun exercise. All right, we'll see who wins. Jack's not here. All right, I want you to remain standing if you know your sponsor's name. Person. Well, you know his first.
Yeah, I know.
All right. So you may sit down after this. Remain standing if you know your sponsor's name. That's the second level. Okay. Third level. Okay. So so what do you take from that? If it goes 7 levels up, I mean, you had 7 people on top of you. There's a chance they have no idea. And there's a chance that Roxanne, there may be someone in the 4th level. I don't know, there's a chance someone's down there that you wouldn't know. What did that say to you? Yeah. Yes.
Or you're a jerk.
Yeah. Remember, it's not your job to really, you don't have to pay attention to this stuff. Now look, if you somehow understand, when you get your profit share statements, you see who your upline is. You do. And
So I guess it makes sense, like your sponsor doesn't have to be under $7 grand, doesn't contribute that in mind.
Right. Has nothing to do with being on the same team, or has nothing to do with that. This is an award for growing the company. That's all it is.
But like Ed brought Carrie in, so that would she and her sponsor.
Exactly. And then she's on your second one. Right. Cool. Great. Love that. Great. Thanks for participating. All right. So slide page number 23. You guys have that open? Okay. All right. No big deal. All right. So here's
We're missing.
I don't want to kill a lot of trees. This is a lot of trees. I don't want to kill a lot of trees. I need to figure out the pages that would be beneficial to talk about.
That's into the problem.
Does come to the problem. So, yeah, very smart. Very smart. Here's the key. Focus on your first level. Only focus on your first level. Noah Anderson is the vice chairman of Keller Williams. Have you ever heard that name? Noah Anderson. Noah Anderson, 15. Go for 15. Try to get 15 people in your first line. When you get 15 people in your first line, you're going to be able to see substantial profit share for like the year. That will repeat. 15 people will go. Okay. Now, remember Linda McKissick? So she has, the top profit share. She has 9,000 associates, Keller associates for profit share. I think going 7 levels, all like 7 level, 6 level, 9,000 associates. How many do you think are in the first one? 10? Sure. You guys I was surprised that you guys were thinking more like that, because I like how you're thinking. Because I don't want this to seem like a daunting type of task. Profit share. 30 people in the first month for 9,000 associates that eventually went down. 30 people.
So 30 people who cheap sponsors.
Yeah. Only 30 out of 9,000. Those 30 did the rest.
So how does
2,700 or 2,970.
How does it work? Like, I know I recommended someone to Keller Williams in Myrtle Beach, and I just have to follow up. I knew she had it. Yeah. So is that just how it works? Then they would consider that Ed or I sponsor.
Yeah, you would deserve right to sponsorship because you were the one getting her into serious competition. Unless someone else was there as well before you got to the picture. Yeah. However, it is discretion. So if you have a relationship with that person, she will most likely pick you. She will most likely.
And you don't have to be an agent. Right?
To be a sponsor. To be a sponsor, good question. You have to be an agent at Keller Williams. You can also be a vendor as well. So vendors, you have a good relationship with a home inspector or an electrician. If they're ever curious about this profit sharing system, you can certainly bring it to their attention. They only have to pay $25 as everyone else does. $25 a year to keep it active. And I think they're a really good person to go after. Honestly, they're around other real estate agents, and I know they've helped John and Justin out. They've seen the agents out there that are good, that are just stagnant where they are, and then they make that introduction. So they would be under your debt. Right? Yeah. You can do that. There might be.
Not
Depending.
vendors,
Mortgage company preferred then mortgage lender, we're talking electricians, we're talking home insurance, home inspectors. Yeah. They would go through that, yes. And then if they ever wanted to go, they would say, hey, I need rent. I have a friend in San Francisco, she's getting a license. Can you help me out? And we would say, yeah, I'll connect you with whatever. And then I would make the introduction. I would say that you're funding for a sponsor. That person that you want to cover with would be in second. Seems like that guy the benefit and the benefit on top. Yeah.
Now, how is the vendor with profit share? Like, they would have to bring someone in for them to get profit share.
Yeah, really, all they're doing is an introduction. Yeah. They're making a warm introduction for you. Yeah. So let's say you have a vendor and they're saying, hey, I know so-and-so Remax, and they're not happy. And you would say, hey, well, why don't we have Adam? What can we do to have them come in and explore something? You would talk that strategy out, and then I can help along with that journey as well. They would come in and we talk, and if there's a possibility that they want to join, they would go under that person's downline.
Now, people who decide not to join, that I think guarantee later follow up with them and say,
Yeah, I just like to talk. That's my style. Yeah. So,
because somebody could be happy and then a year later not be happy.
yeah, it's all time. It really is. But then there's the concept of, Eileen Crescenzo. Does everyone know Eileen Crescenzo was with the same, never switched. And then, I believed in her. I thought she would be here. And then finally, she called it nagging. Just get nagging. I finally called her, and one day she picked up and said, I do nothing. It was just stuff like that. It was over a span of 2 years. I had a conversation going with her. And she was like, I don't know what to do. She's like, I've never moved from another burger before. I've been in business for 20 plus years. I don't know what to do. So, and that's history. So she's here, brought Marty along with her. And all that was Grace Cass got awarded sponsorship because Grace Cass warmed her up to want to talk to them. That's all for her. So she would do anything. I did all the counting, the phone calls, and all that, and then she got awarded sponsorship. And believe me, I'm not the one to, because I'm a team, I'm not good at these. Believe me, I'm always fine. It seems as though someone knows something. Oh, I love how you guys are finally these questions. You guys are thinking on the level. So 15 people. You think that's doable? 15 people. We're talking co-ops. We're talking people that think will be doing real estate.
You're playing it back like over the years. I always hate bringing it up to any during the transaction. Like you said, trying to recruit me, they get up to one. Oh yeah. What's the good story? I remember years ago when Lee Rubin was still at Remax, I had to deal with that. First, I was in the first Keller in Newtown.
Yep.
And
it was like 98, 99.
Yep. They paid us at the table, at the settlement table. And we came with the letter from our broker. Gave it to the fund clerk. Our agent, who would be permission to pay the agent tax. So the title company would cut the commission check directly from the table. But that's kind of a violation. commission just kind of failing upon that, but nobody really cared until I had to deal with Lee Rubin over. She was every month, and she just she started screaming at me. I'm like, I saw him. Like, first of all, you know, I want to take this in another room, you know, and then we could discuss you coming over to color. So I think it was that day she realized I should be over to color. I should be Lee Rubin's responsible, basically. That's a fun day when she came over. One day after that.
Well, yeah, you know what? She's here and she's more colorized than ever. I mean, what a change, for sure. You know what? It always starts. We'll talk more about the commission. I think she was upset with that. So, it always starts with building a relationship. Before, I think for you guys, for a co-op, it's building a relationship, and just coming down all times. So then we'll have a bright moment. All right, so we're going to get into that as well. Let's see here. So here's pretty much how the attraction works. You got to relate, refer, and recruit. So when we're talking about relation, how do you think you could build a good relationship with another agent? Now, agents are coming in your world a lot of co-ops. You're probably running into them at showings, having good conversations. You're probably running into them at open houses.
Professional and amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Easy to work with. Yep.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Ed just had a feeling with Jay, and Jay was shocked at how open Ed was. Like, what do you want to know? Like, he goes, we're realtors. We got to work together. Come on, like.
Good.
You know, and it just.
So you got him to open up on that side? That's good.
I heard Jay.
Yeah.
Not only did
Ed
it was Ed did.
Oh, okay.
Ed's very good.
Well, Ed knows him personally from going back.
Right? Oh, yeah. There's always went to school together. But even so, it was more just Ed. He was like shocked, like as open as Ed was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like talking about the property and stuff. And I think we want the same result. You know, why would it?
Hey, we're trying to. I want to get to the finish line too. I want to get paid too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But Ed has a really good way of presenting himself.
Right.
And being professional.
By the way, Ed was on so Roxanne is married to him. They work at the team. For the younger, for you guys, I think. Have you guys know Ed personally? Okay. Okay. So he's in the office often. He'd be a good person to sit down. Yeah, he's got a great mustache. He'd be a great person to ask questions because he is very open and will share anything. He's one of the top agents in the office. I would say if you want to learn as much as you can, get as much information from people as you can, he's probably the first person to start with. Just want to mention his name. Yeah. Yes. Excellent human being. So basically what I'm hearing is just gonna be a good co-op. just be a not a good co-op, be a phenomenal co-op. Phenomenal co-op. And it doesn't have to be co-op agents. Remember, building our profit share system include people that we see potential to be good agents as well. Have any of you referred people into Heather's school? Yeah. That's a great tool as well. Yeah. Right. And that's an easy one. That's an easy one. Getting people into Heather's school and then eventually return. So then it's all about referring. So referring is just referring them to someone in leadership. So it's always good to build a relationship first somehow and then refer them over to the team leader like myself, or PC, and to have that conversation with them because that takes the recruiting. That takes the recruiting off the ball. So if they say, what are you trying to recruit me? I know this staff problem. No, I don't want to think I'm not trying to recruit them. I'm going to compliment you. It'll be okay. You promise me you'll take their phone call.
So in the beginning, when we first came here,
Matt Spinelli?
yeah, when Matt
yeah.
was in charge, we just automatically gave them every agent we worked with. Right?
That works. And believe me, if you have, I pretty much contacted every agent in Bucks County. So, and so if you have, and remember, it's my job is to not build my profit sharing that way. It's hey, Adam, I just had, Adam, do you know so and so? 100% chance, especially if they're, well, maybe I don't know. And I will work with you to come up with a plan on how we can get them into the conversation. So just use it, leverage it. I was great. I met this person at an open house. Yeah, they were just so nice, professional. Like, what do you think I should do? Let's talk out a plan. Use me. Because I do care about you guys building that profit sharing. I do have ideas. And then recruiting. Remember, recruiting is what ultimately I do a kick-ass needs analysis. So what I do is I want to get down to drilling down to the questions of finding what you need to do is with gaps on the business, and then kind of putting them in it, diagnosing something that they need for the business to help get where they want to be in 5 years. And that's how that works. That's how recruiting works. Right? Any questions on that? Before I jump ahead to answer your question more? All right, great. So let's take some time now. Let's take like 3 minutes. I want you guys to jot down 3 people that come to mind. So if you haven't worked with a transaction yet, maybe it's an agent that you already encountered somewhere in the open house. Maybe it's friends or family members that you think would be good at real estate. Maybe it's previous transaction that you had. Someone who was just spectacular. Like, but nothing but to say except compliments about that person. Let's take time. So let's take 3 minutes. I'm gonna grab another cup of coffee. Let's take 3 minutes to jot down 3 names. People that you think are good at real estate. Anybody. Yeah. Anybody. Or permanent real estate agents? Or no, they could be people like, in that career. Jot down 3 people. Yeah, we're living. Yeah, we're living. Yep.
I'm on it.
That's right.
Give Adam a call.
Oh.
You know more people in South Carolina.
I do, and I did recommend them all to Callaway and to me. So hopefully they talk, and I talked to the person at that Callaway and said, I recommend it. I'm going to call today, because I sent my,
All right.
yeah.
Got names? Yeah. I know there had to have been amazing people in the last 12 months. People that timely with the
A lot of
paperwork.
them were in here. It was like, we
It's
did
only
Taylor
Keller
Sean,
Williams.
we did Justin, we did Jackie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or they're Keller Williams.
Yeah.
The best agents are already here. What can I say?
Where they're like on their last leg and they're going out the door.
So that's fine.
But they still like,
And you're gonna bring that to
a lot of them are like growth in life.
say something like
Yeah, that's where I started.
boxing the box and ladder.
Instead, or have a business.
That's what they have.
All right. Cool.
I don't even,
We'll find something to do about it.
I know a lot of hairdressers.
And, but I forget to.
Okay. Take your time. let's talk about how we get in the conversation. Slide 20. So we're going to be talking about how to get into, remember, relate, refer, recruit. We're talking about relationships, how to get into relationships. Question is, how do you think we start a conversation? Let's think about cooperating. How do you think we would start? Have you ever admired something about that? And if you ever wanted to build a relationship, what do you think is a good place to start? Yes. Yeah, share a real compliment. So, and these agents can be anywhere. Like I said, if they're in the transaction that you work with, you talk to them in the open house. There was an agent one time I bumped into at showings. My people were in the house for showings. They were just coming out. The guy came in, he was like my age. And he's like, came with his buyers. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, do you need us to be outside? I said, no, that's fine. You can walk around the house. So I thought that was cool. Very professional. And yes, it was before COVID. This was like 2016. No, wait, 2016. 2016, I think. Yeah. And at the end of it, I took this class. I was an agent at the house, and I thought that was a cool dude. And I'm gonna reach out to him. Reached out to him, and I said, hey, Andrew, Gunton Hauser, Keller Williams. You may not remember, I bumped into you at the house in Lower Makefield, I forget where it was. And I gotta say, I just admire the way you present yourself. Like no agent like takes time to like really acknowledge me while I'm in there and kind of just like, you know. So I admire that about you. It's kind of like the way I perform when I'm at showings as well. And I just want to know if you get to more together with a cup of coffee. I think I can learn a lot about you, and I see myself doing this with it. Yeah, I love the industry. That's really all it was. I did not have to do that much actually. However, we did have a great conversation. I think we get what I'm looking for. However, they're very receptive. So, start the conversation, share real compliments. Here's an example. Here's a script. You have this, page 21, 9. Did I print that out?
Yeah, 29.
Yes. Yeah, mid-page. Share a real compliment. Hi, Zach. This is Alan. I wanted to take a minute to thank you for your professionalism in the sale once you reached it. Hi, Remy. This is Adam. I love doing transactions with you. The way you handled the termite mold appraisals, etc., the appraisal inspection, oh my goodness. You handled that issue awesome. I just want to admire you. Hey, Roxanne, Adam. Love doing transactions with you. You're awesome. You're always call to ask for information, confirm appointments, negotiate, all that stuff. You're just a really good, you're on top of your game. I really appreciate that. Appreciate that about you. I hope you cross paths on other transactions. I mean, what if you got a call from like how I just did something? Just be a good coach. Just go above and beyond. Express a side of vulnerability. It's like what Ed did, expressing vulnerability, opening up. Hey, we're gonna get to the finish line here, and I don't want to be all prideful and confident that I'm gonna outdo you with this thing. I want to be open. Like, coach me. You can coach me. I'm being vulnerable. What do you think I need to do? We're going back and forth in this inspection. Okay, they're only willing to give $2,000 credit. Okay, so Roxanne, here's the situation. I want to get to the finish line here. He's not going to close in that. Like, I don't know. Let's talk about strategy. What do you think? Like, where do you think I should come from on this? Like, help me out. Do you think, if I express that side, don't you think that's going to be a little better? Right? Think about the future when I'm putting an offer in on one of my
great at that, by the way.
What's that?
You can pull money out of it. For inspection.
Oh, yeah.
Like people say they're not doing any inspections, the next thing are repairs.
Oh, yeah.
Next thing you know, they're like doing repairs. that is a gift you definitely have.
I just did that yesterday. We all together.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, work with the agent. You guys are working together. It's not about, don't be that agent that's all prideful. Oh, I'm going to protect my clients and really show it. No, no, no. You're working with the co-op as much as you're working with your own agent. And if you express that side to that co-op, you're going to come off very, very likely. So just be an amazing co-op. I don't know how many times I said it, which I knew that's the one. Schedule a time to meet. So it's, who would feel comfortable setting an appointment if you really like the co-op that you did a deal with? Who would feel comfortable doing that? Yeah. It's really coffee. It's just people talking to people. People talking to people. Hey, that's your expertise. So, page 31. Do I have that there? You have this? Yes. Look at this. Ready? Meet with a co-op agent after a transaction is closed. It was so much fun doing that transaction with you. Really like the way you did it. Imagine you're coming off a hairy transaction. You're like the day before, you don't even think this thing's closed. You know those transactions. You don't even sleep that night. You're like, oh my goodness, my people are homeless. This thing might not even close. And then you get up. It works out like it always does. It works out like it always does. And you're like, oh, everyone's shaking hands. It's all over. And you have that second with the co-op, and they appreciate you, and they shake your hand. Exactly. It was so much fun in this transaction. I really like the way you handled that at the end there. You really saved my ass. You came through. I gotta ask, can we meet next Thursday for coffee? Because I just wanted to know you, and I have a small gift of appreciation that I'd like to give you. You know, does this Friday at 10 sound good? Half hour coffee? What's the gift? So you can talk with me. I can give you one of the 3 books. Either The One Thing, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, and Shift. If you ever, I know Justin likes to use the book, The Compound Effect. Sometimes those books can come off recruiting. For the most part, recruiting is the word. Right? So those books, people think they're Keller Williams books, even though the word Keller Williams is not. So that could come off like that at times. So that would be the gift. Something simple like that. Yeah. This next trip, you've never done it though. So you've never done it with. You just ran into them, or you met them at a party or something. Hey Roxanne, this is Adam. It was so much fun talking with you at the Roxanne, can you meet for coffee next Tuesday? I'd like to get to know you and talk shop. Is that okay? How about Tuesday at 10 a.m.? Third one, invite them to an event. Now, this one has always, I'd say, always. All the market center events that happen here, other sessions, between our sessions, regional things, those flyers, just have them. When you think something is good that another co-op agent like, you can just fire that away to a text. Hey, I was thinking about you. Ryan Nix is doing an open house special on Wednesday. Actually, open house Jedi here, and he closed more than half his business from open house. Bar view, where you open to all agents, able to stop. So in that meeting, too, what do you think you're talking about? The idea is to get to a relationship with an agent. You're going to learn, and you're going to keep it organic. What do you think would be one question you can ask them to kind of keep the follow-up going with that, to potentially work on a way to get them into conversations? What comes to mind? What can be some thoughtful questions? That's the word. More business related. Yeah.
How are we getting the business?
That's what we're doing.
How's the economy affecting their business?
Yeah. How are you doing?
How are they like holding up their weight?
Love that. Yeah. What have you done in the past? What are you planning to do?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any good ideas?
Really what you want to ultimately discover, if there's anything that you want to discover at the end of this, you want to know what it is that they need to help with, or what it is that they're planning to do. So a good question would be, that's awesome. Hey, Roxanne, so what's the biggest thing you and your team are working on? What is it that you're trying to accomplish? Oh, Ed has this idea of putting together a team, and we're we're trying to do this and that, and we need to focus more on listings. Okay, so listings are more, yeah, listings are the most part. Okay, great. I'm just curious. Awesome. And you take that, next thing you know, there's a class on listings happening. And then you're shooting that and you're following up with value. So you want to come up with something that they're working. Always be mindful of the events that you have on here. Believe me, the events you have here, you're going to like to add absolutely all times. Look at this. Invite them to an event. Hi Ed, it's Adam. Thanks for taking my call. Today I'm calling about business. Today I'm calling about business. Do you have a minute? Great. Look, I called you because you were great to work with on a deal, and there's going to be about 10,000 realtors in Austin, Texas, for an event called Night Camp. I knew you'd be an amazing that would enjoy networking as well as hearing the latest intelligent research on real estate. Top agents from across the United States and Canada will be interviewed and will share their market ideas, scripts, dialogues. I've heard that the agents who attend increase their income on average 2 times what they currently are. That's just an idea of something. You guys feel comfortable? So I know you guys said you would feel comfortable inviting people to a meeting, and then you feel comfortable inviting them to an event. All right?
And then maybe
Yes.
that's why I approached it.
That you have to have serious report. Serious relation. All right. Well, I want to get into an activity here. And that list of people that you called, I want some type of action, either a call or a text, to get the wheels in motion for them to think about real estate. So what were the names of some of you wrote down? You had that one friend.
I just feel like
Yeah, no problem.
There you go. Thanks.
I want you to, I'll text you something you can text. Yeah. It's an invite to Larry's open house.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I think with that friend, I think you text that person, hey, I'm in a class right now. Think of you. Are you still considering it? Same with you, Zach. You had someone like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I would text that out right away. And then you guys, who are you working on?
Just anybody I meet in an open house.
Okay.
I'm gonna start mentioning it, but I think coming from my old industry across the street, I often think of guys and girls I worked with.
Yeah.
And for them to get like I did for 60 of the years, being a mailman, come in contact with a lot of people.
Okay. So that could be, yeah. Maybe someone comes to mind. Maybe someone is in the same retiring. And they
came in Friday.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, great.
So carriers who are out talking to the people.
Yeah.
Everybody lives in the house.
Yeah.
Or even higher ups, like the postmaster or somebody management who has the time to.
Yeah.
I love that. Absolutely love it.
So I'm going to text. And that's it. I was trying to. I'll send this text. So 267-626-7979. Yep.
Like the show. 215-791-1700.
My number?
Yep.
267.
Yeah, 267-907-368. Yeah. Nice to meet you. I actually have a question. So this is like an example of how you can get something to have this in the future. Text a flyer and then a little text it. So where's your number?
215-791-1707.
791. 791.
1707.
791. 1707. All right. What's your number?
He's not even, I see like, I remember when I'm working on this semester.
Hang on a second. So I just sent it to the so this is an example. Last open house basically. Those are saying you had a good co-op and tells you, hey, look at other agent that I thought was really good. Maybe they would like live, but I said they would like send that out.
So I said, I remember you saying you're getting real estate real estate split.
I was gonna like send this some version of that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you have a friend.
Yeah. So she's not a real estate agent, but she has worked in getting people housing. So if the house burned down or got flooded, she would find them opportunities to live elsewhere. Yeah. And and whatnot. So I think she's really good. So I don't know if she has the time or if she'd be interested, but I do see her being really good.
So what's your plan? Or just see how she replies to that?
So I'm really good friends with her, so I, like pretty positive. Yeah.
So then, yeah, whatever happens there, if she says no, if it go by from her, then it's no. You're in the, I know you're probably scouting.
Yeah.
Come to mind, that would be good real estate. Absolutely. Yeah. That's awesome. Great. So now we're going to talk about just wrapping up with the class soon here. Remember, that was all about relationships. Referring is all about just keeping on top of those opportunities of what you heard in that meeting. Always comes up with what they need help with. I'm going to focus on getting more listings this year. Boom. There's a class coming up with listings. Boom. And you keep sending an invite for that. Just keep hitting them with value at all times. And eventually, you're going to have a conversation with me. Hey, just so you know, I can send you so-and-so information. They're great. They know me. I think I'm ready to ask them. What do you think would be the best strategy to do that? And talk to them. Best strategy.
You come back to the last one.
Yeah.
There it is, down the bottom. a disclaimer.
Yeah.
Next sentence,
I never had it.
do not use or leave artificial or pre-recorded messages.
Yeah. To the people.
So you are not allowed to use, like a robocall thing to leave messages. on people's phone.
The only way that you're allowed to do that is if you've had contact with them or they called you. If they called you in the last week and you have 3 months that you can contact them. If you had any real estate dealing with them, then you have 18 months that you can. And then if they ask you not to, you have to respect that.
So people are looking into,
Yeah.
auto. robo-
Yeah.
And then you could get in big trouble.
Yep, absolutely. Now, with agents, on the other hand, if you're using this for agents, most agents are, I'm gonna do not call this time. If you are, I don't know how you are. Right? You want everyone in the world to be reaching out to you? Yeah. So, excellent. Well, here's another thing too. I want you to think about this idea. Some of the top real estate profit share earners in Keller Williams, they kind of built it through new agent licenses. They went on, they built job sites. They put a job description on those job sites, like ZipRecruiter and all that. And they posted and they attracted people coming to the world. So I'm sure they built relationships. And I was thinking, what if you had a system where, and I was thinking about this for myself.
Like Indeed, something like that.
Yeah, Indeed, yep. You target them that way, and then you kind of incubate them in some sort of Facebook private page. And you're targeting the top profit share market centers in the world, like Atlanta or something, and you're running ad campaigns. And or you're doing something here and running ad campaigns about how school, which I used to do, and I was doing it that way. And go to the school, you follow up with them, and then what if that's a system? Yeah, and what if you started at Facebook? Keller Williams just came up with a career mode, Jason Abrams, our vice president. So what if you curated these leads for head of school, the next session coming up next month, you captured leads through running a $25 social media ad campaign. You create a Facebook page, private Facebook page, and then you kind of just put in there in the thread, hey, I'm going to be showing a career night video on X date. It's going to be airing, for people that can't do the mornings or daytime this time, then I'm going to be airing it Facebook Live nighttime at this time. And Jason Abrams did a 25-minute video talking about career night and how you do it in this industry. It's an idea, it's something I thought of, and those videos do exist.
Now, with the shift coming, supposedly.
Yeah.
We're supposedly going to see a lot of attrition, a lot of really something shift. Yeah. Right. So, how do you attract new?
Good question. Because those are the people most likely, they're the ones most likely to see patients, right? Well, that's when the shift needs to happen with your approach to this whole thing. You have to go after, you have to target the patients. And what I do know is I just met with a $9 million producer at Coldwell Banker right before. And I knew I was having conversations with him back there. And I mentioned the shift book, and I mentioned the real estate. He had no idea about the idea of running a business like a business and targeting her past clients. She had touches, and what we self-discovered is that her touches and the mailings are going out to people she doesn't know. So she sort of self-discovered that she was leaving these touches that people really thought of her as a real estate resource on the table. And then there was this idea that, okay, let's come up with a plan. Let's meet it again this weekend. So they don't have the shift. They don't have the literature on how to run a successful business. Even though they can, I think they just don't want to illustrate the other. So we're over the time here. What are some ahas that you're taking away from today? Some takeaways. Anyone? Yeah, very simple. Heather's school, boom, talk this kid and she's done it for me. Hey, I saw that she's advertising for school. Can you run an ad campaign? Bucks down. Boom, there you go. Absolutely.
I would say, don't be afraid to network and possibly bring in people to the office or talk about real estate. You never know if you might be interested.
You never have too many friends in the same chair. Never, ever, 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 ever. Just people talking to people will value and be very, I bet you asking them, no one's ever asked them before. Good. I love it. All right. Great, guys.
Thank you, Adam.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Good information.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, no doubt.